Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen.
And we are headed to Tennessee.
Yes.
So we just got done loading up. We got a pallet of water and a bunch of canned goods to try to take down. So our goal is to go to a delivery stop and then see if we can offer up the truck to help to do some deliveries.
Yes. We also have one delivery we are for sure making ourselves. Some of our friends and viewers, they live there and they've been there for a few years and they need some help. They have no water, so we're going to do that. And getting our hands on that pallet of water was not easy.
No.
We are about an hour and a half, 2 hours from the area that we're going to. We're going to Newport. And between us and them, there is maybe 2 Walmarts. And that's not counting the one in Newport, because we're not going to be taking any supplies from them if they even have any. So we stopped at the Walmart that is about 35 minutes from us, and after that Walmart there's only about one more, and we figured that one is probably pretty ransacked. And the Walmart that we went to, which is only 30 minutes from our house, only had 2 pallets of water left. So people are driving 2 hours, an hour and a half, to try and get their hands on some water, and people are coming up and getting water, and it's just kind of being taken from everywhere, basically moving it around, and it's just really devastating. So hated to take, but you know, it'll get replaced, and we've got to take these people some water because they don't have any running water to flush toilets, take baths, and they especially don't have drinking water. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We were also mindful of the canned food, and if you are helping in any way, you need to make sure you're getting stuff with pull tops or getting manual can openers, because that's something that people can't get their hands on. And if they get canned food that has to be manually opened, then they can't eat it. So that's a waste. So yes, we got all pull tops, and on our next trip we'll probably round up some can openers too.
So we are here at a dear friend's house. We've actually already dropped off. Don't fall. They live in a beautiful place here in Cosby. But we just dropped off some water and some paper products and canned goods for them. And we also dropped some off at a church. I'm gonna go give them a little bit more water, and then we're gonna find somewhere else to deliver to. All right, that has been delivered, and now we still have a little bit of a pallet left of water. We may roll back to Newport because it sounds like that's where they're giving a lot of stuff out, and give the rest. But we did find one church that was very helpful. They're really helping the area of Cosby out. The thing about Cosby is it's a small, quaint town. However, it's right in the middle of basically the tourist traveling of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. It's a lot of tourists that are driving through there, and they just don't understand what's happening right around them. But none of these people have water to their homes at all, and that's really sad. While we were at the church, a couple was talking about how they lost everything. Their house is done and gone, and so they are starting over. And there's a lot of areas there are a lot of people that are like that in this area. All right, do what we can, go deliver more water. Okay, we are back home. It's actually been a day. So that was, I don't want to say exhausting, because these poor people they don't have time to relax. They don't have time to take a break. But I think honestly, mentally and physically, we were pretty worn out the next day. So we took a day to just kind of rest and really recap what we experienced and what we saw.
Yeah.
It was, I never want to say the word humbling. I don't like that word very much in this scenario. But it was a beautiful sight to see, with so much of a community gathering together to help one another. And at least in our viewing area, we didn't see any government agencies, stuff like that, that were set up to help any. This was people helping people.
Yes.
I know that sounds wild, but that sometimes is better. I know that's crazy, but sometimes it is better, because we're not turning anything away, right? We're accepting everything. Anything and everything that people can give out is being accepted. People are able to get it. And so the first place we went to was in Cosby, Tennessee. Do you remember the church?
Liberty Church of God.
Liberty Church of God, which if you're familiar with that area in Cosby, it's right after the Apple place, Carver's Apple. So we went there. They had quite a bit of stuff. However, we dropped off some water and a lot of canned goods there, and the water they had, their specific statement was that'll probably last us a couple days.
How I do follow that church though, and I do know they still do have water, but they're gonna need supplies soon.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Bush's Baked Beans. That church specifically said that Bush's Baked Beans came and delivered a bunch of canned beans, which I thought was really cool. There's a factory down there, if you're wondering why specifically that one. But I thought that was great to hear. They're always going to need more. And then we went back to Newport, which is closer to I-40, where it's not, you can still access Newport, but it is right there where in between Newport and Hartford, where the road collapsed. And in Newport, it was much busier. So almost every church you saw, there were setups, there was people handing out stuff, and it was busy. The need was strong there. But you can tell donations were strong there as well.
Yeah, but to paint a picture for you, that's how it was. There's, we're in the heart of Bible Belt, Appalachia, so there is churches everywhere. And some of these churches are bigger. They're not the tiny little churches, so they have these gyms or these big rooms where they can hold all this stuff, and that's what it was. So literally every, I don't know, few stoplights there's another church, and they were full of supplies, and then another church, and they were full of supplies, and it was people bringing all that stuff in. Some people just with a truck like us, some people fill up their cars and take stuff. Some people were bringing semis and convoys, which was amazing. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's not, because one semi a day wouldn't even be enough water for the whole town.
Yeah, and when we got to that church in Newport, we had bought a pallet of water, so that's 48 cases of water.
Which was hard to get.
It was very hard to get. We had to actually get Cumberland Gap water, which if you're from our area it's a little bit more of an expensive water. But that's what they had, so that's what we got. And literally that water, when we pulled to deliver, was going from our truck to someone that needed the water. Every single one of our waters went into that truck because they were helping with get water for a facility that didn't have it, with a lot of people in it. So that is showing you, even though the donations are flying in, ours never even saw the inside of the church. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a constant rotation. They're giving it away as much as they're getting it in. But it was sad and awesome all at the same time. We did hear a story from a couple at the first church. They've lost everything. Their house is gone. And so they're having to start completely from fresh. So that was the experience. We didn't get a whole lot of footage. Like I said, we were moving fast. And when we're doing that, we're focused on the people. We're focused on what we're giving. It's just who we are. We had the GoPro. We had all intentions for it. But when it comes down to it, and we're having conversation. It doesn't. So we'll recap with you all. But what is the issue? So first off, they don't have water, and they're predicted to not have water for most areas for a minimum of 60 days. So that's 2 months. 2 months without any kind of water, drinking water, flushing water, bathing water, dishwashing, all of that. So this need is going to go on for a while. The second part of that is, we have water main breaks, we have that, but they get a lot of their water, at least of our understanding from the people who live there, from the French Broad River. That French Broad River is littered with everything that flushed into it. Yes. It's contaminated completely, 100%. So even if they say their pipes worked, the water is so contaminated that they couldn't use it. So there's operations to get the French Broad River cleaned up. There's operations to get the water mains fixed and the lines fixed so these people can get water. And that's just unfortunately going to take time.
A lot of time. So like he said, all the things that you use water for on the daily that you don't even think about, just daily, small, very small things, they can't do, let alone drink it. So we were talking to that first church that we went to, and there is a huge need for buckets or jugs of water, something that they can haul water with and flush. Because some of these people do have neighbors that have wells or springs coming out of the mountain. They can fill up stuff from their creeks. There's creeks everywhere. But if you don't have something that you can fill up, or something even small enough for them to carry, then that water doesn't matter, because you can't get it to where it needs to be. Yeah, so containers are going to be a big thing on our list to start loading up on. And that rolls me into as well, if you're in that area, like she said, there's a lot of creeks that aren't contaminated that you can access this water to. However, if you are going, you go to Newport, you get on I-40, then you get on to 81, and then you get on to 25, like you're going to Clinch Mountain.
Once you get to the bottom of Clinch Mountain, right after mile marker 14, there is a spring that I don't know who set it up. It's been there as long as I know. But it's literally, they got PVC pipe that's piped from the spring all the way to the guardrail. So all you have to do is pull off the side of the road, and that water's always running. So if you need access to, I mean, it's spring water. It's going to be pretty clean water. I would still, obviously, if you're going to drink it, boil it just to be safe. However, that is nice, clean water that you can fill up all your containers with. So if you've been lucky enough to get an IBC tote or some kind of those large water tanks, that is a place for free water that you can fill it up. You just got to hook your hose up to it and put it in there. So I just wanted to make sure that's a resource that everyone knew that was around you. If you're in the Newport area, it's about 30, 45 minutes. If you're in the Cosby area, it's maybe about an hour to get there. But it's worth it to get all that free water, and it's all that you could ever ask for because it never dries up. And for that, if you didn't catch what I said, we actually got Jen, when we was passing it, got the exact coordinates for that. So we'll put that down in the comments just as a picture so you can see exactly where it is. But now, what's the next steps? What's the next steps that we're planning on doing?
So our next steps, ideally, would be to go into the communities that don't have those semis, trucks, and all these people coming in with the supplies. Unfortunately, that is not really in our realm of things we can help with because we can't get there. There are a lot of people going in with pack mules, helicopters, anything that they can do to get to these people. Thankfully, they have reached most of those communities, and they've started rescuing, they've started airdropping supplies. So that is happening. I wish we could get there. We just can't. It's just not in our realm of skills. We don't have the equipment. So what we are going to do is focus on one of our next areas that we love very much, and that's the Johnson City area. You all know that we do the Appalachian Fair every year. We didn't do it this year, but they are some of our people, and that place also feels like very much home to us. And they got hit very hard. So we talked to our friends, the people that we deal with when we do the Appalachian Fair. They're great friends to us, and they've given us a list of stuff that they need. They've told us where to take it, and it's much needed. And there are people helping there just as much as they are like in Newport and other areas and stuff too. But what I've seen and what I've tried to do is kind of like stagger the help. Like if I'm in all the pages, both of us are, and just because it's our area and we follow all this stuff. And if I see that huge convoys of supplies are coming to, say, Newport for a certain day or two, then we try to stagger and do something else. And I'm hoping that's what other people are doing. You know, you don't want to throw all the supplies in one area, even though there are distribution centers and people that are trying to move it to the areas that need it. It just, that causes more work and more, you know, more hands and people that could be doing better things than, you know, just moving stuff around or driving back and forth when they may not even be able to get there and probably don't have the gas money to do it. Right. So yeah, just staggering the help, and that's where we're going to go next.
So, and it's also to add to her, because we know there's also several YouTubers that are running these campaigns and doing stuff too. I want you to know, kind of like she said, it's staggered. So like, if you're putting into that donation area or you're helping out with that keep doing that. But just know that like ours is going to a different place, and that's the problem.
We can't all team up and go to the same place.
Exactly, and that's unfortunately the problem that's happening in Tennessee and North Carolina. There are so many places that need donations that the more people that are gathering and doing this and going to different locations, the better it's going to be. Because it isn't like she said, we can't all just load everything up in a semi and all join together and just go to Newport, right? Because that doesn't help Hartford, that is right in the heart of I-40, that it's hard to get to. That's helping that area, which is great, but we all need to be having these campaigns to helping each other out. So with that being said, we've kind of told you our next plans and where our resources are going to go. However, a lot of people have reached out about donations, and it is time, if you are willing, to do that, because this isn't cheap. So far, it's been everything out of our own pocket, which we were perfectly fine to do. Like, it was what we wanted to do, but we want to keep helping. Like, once we got down there, we realized how big the need was.
So much stuff.
And it's a price tag that our bank account just can't afford on itself. So we are in the location to be able to get stuff to people. If you're not close and you feel obliged to help, we greatly appreciate it. Do not feel pressure to do so whatsoever. We're still going to help. Like, we're starting to think of things that we have on our farm that we can just take. Like, when we were big into milking with our cattle, we have so many empty, brand new milk jugs. We're going to take all those down there.
That's a free resource that we can do.
Exactly. So Right.
Small stuff like that. Just think about stuff that you have.
Exactly.
Not clothes. They don't need clothes.
Right. It sounds like the clothes have been pretty big at the churches. It's mainly water, food, and containers of some form. So, to donate, we are not setting up a fundraiser, anything like that. We're not trying to make this more than it is for that area, for that specific reason. But we have Cash App, we have PayPal. We do not have Venmo. That's been a whole thing. It got like, I don't know, it got hacked and I've never been able to get back in. So I just haven't focused on it. But we do have Cash App and PayPal. They'll both be linked in the description or in the comment below if you do feel like helping out. Believe me, this area needs it. I can't tell you how much money needs to continue to come to this area.
And it's amazing how much has been poured in and the attention. But my biggest fear, and I know it's their biggest fear, is that something is going to happen in the coming week or so and then they get forgotten about and the attention and the money and the help gets diverted elsewhere and they can't handle that. Like, this isn't a few day thing. This isn't a 2 week thing. This is years of rebuilding and helping people get back on their feet. You know, even if people didn't lose their house, they probably can't get to work. Their workplace is closed. Their workplace might be destroyed. They can't get there. They don't have gas money. So these people aren't working. And can you imagine going through what they've gone through and then having that looming over your head of knowing I'm not going to be able to pay my bills next month simply because I can't go to work?
Yeah.
I mean, the stress is just never ending.
And then, like, another example, the schools are closed. The schools don't have water. The schools cannot be in operation. So now the kids are at home. So say you are lucky enough and you do still have a job that you can go to and work. Well, now you have 2 kids that daycares aren't open, schools aren't open. You might not have anybody around you because they're in the same exact boat. You're having to take off to watch your kids. And so then you're not making money there. So
a
these
lot of people depend on schools to feed their kids, and now they're not at those schools.
Yeah, so it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So we're going to keep, us, other YouTubers, we're going to keep this pressure on and keep the attention on this area because, like I said, at least in what we saw, not one government aid at all anywhere to be seen. I'm not saying they're not there, but if it is that big of a presence, we didn't see it. That's what I'm getting at. So this is all about us, people, human beings coming together to help others.
I'm sure you've seen what they've been given. At $750.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you have to apply for it, and most likely you're not even going to get it. That doesn't even take care of utilities for a month. Whatever. It's just the need is great, and we're going to do all we can. We're going to keep doing all we can for as long as we can. So thank you in advance. Thank you to those who have reached out and helped already. It's amazing that you don't understand how much stuff has to be taken to these people, and their stores are depleted. So we're now taking from our stores and having to go to other places, and then we have port strikes, and it's just, oh my gosh, we just all need a little good news. So I know what has made me feel better is helping, and it has just, it's never enough. It's not going to be enough, but it does give me little glimpses of hope and feeling just a little bit better to help somebody else out, and that brightens my mood. So maybe that will brighten your mood if you are like the rest of the world and just need a little good news.
Right, of course. And keep following along. If you're donating, you're going to see where that's going. You're going to see what we're giving them. All that money is going to go straight to it. So again, if you do feel inclined to donate, that'll be below, and we so much appreciate it, and so do the people in East Tennessee and Western North Carolina. I promise you, it's all going straight to them. All right, y'all, that's all we got today. If we got exhausted,
it's heavy.
It is heavy. It is. It's really heavy. But just imagine what they're going through on a daily basis. I hope it's something that none of us have to ever witness. But our loved ones that are really close to us are going through that. So let's continue to help. Let's continue to be there for them. And as always, we love you all.
We love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.